Go to the right, go to the right, go to the right! Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim and this is Tim the Trailman, and thank you for watching. I'm about to hop out and air down as we have this new trail up here in Suches, Georgia. I just use my air compressor air hose to let the air out of the tire, and I just use my thumb to control when to stop letting the air out, and then I can read it off this gauge. I normally air down to about 25 psi, and that will soften the ride for me and let it be a nice, soft, cushy ride, as well as preventing my tires from getting popped, or at least reducing the chance of that. This trail should not be too difficult to my knowledge, but there will be some articulation and some rocks and things like that, so I always just try to air down. Right at the beginning of the trail, there is a small creek crossing that most trucks and SUVs could do in two-wheel drive. It is normally not too deep. Just go slow and steady and you'll make it across just fine. This trail system in Suches, Georgia is actually 3 trails in one. After you cross that creek, you'll be driving up this gravel road, and it's pretty simple. You'll come to a fork in the road, and we went to the right first, and there's another fork in the road up that trail. So it's really 3 trails in one, and the first 2 that we take are flat and just gravel roads you can do in two-wheel drive and a regular SUV with cul-de-sacs at the end where you can camp, and it's really nice. The third one we saved for the end, where you'll need 4-wheel drive and a high clearance vehicle. It's a lot more fun of a trail, and so be sure to stick around and I'll show you that one too. Hey everybody, a quick update. This trail that I'm actually doing is actually on 2 different days, and so the first part of the video you're going to see me in one 4Runner, and then in the harder part of the trail we actually came back and visited today, and I invited another friend, so you're going to actually see a 3rd gen 4Runner as well. So I just wanted to clear that up here at the beginning of the video before we started going down more of the trails. So thank you for watching, and here we go. This is the first fork in the road that you'll come up to. To the left is the harder trail. We'll come back for that. To the right is the easier trail that actually splits off into another trail. Both are great trails worth exploring. In the words of worn winches, go prepared. Once we went down the trail on the right, a little ways up, we ran into a tree that had fallen down and obviously had not been taken care of. So we were left with 2 choices. We could either take care of it or turn around and make it someone else's problem for another day. So naturally, you know what we did. Now back to the regularly scheduled trail riding. Okay, so here's the fork in the road up the trail that went to the right. These trails are both easy and 2-wheel drive capable with regular SUVs. So first we're going to go to the left, and then we'll come back and go to the right, and I'll show you both of them here quickly, so stay tuned. On a side note, there were many more trees that had fallen down and blocking the trail. I'm so glad that we were prepared and we were able to get them out of the way so we could enjoy the day on the trails and not had to turn around and go home early. Alright, so when we took a right at the fork down there at the bottom of the trail, then we came up and there's another fork and we stayed to the left, and it will bring you to this cul-de-sac here a nice open area. We also passed some other campsites along the way, but you can see a nice little opening here and a view as it's kind of springtime here in Georgia. Okay, jumping into that other trail that went up to the right on the fork in the road. I'm going to show you a little bit of it, but there's nothing too crazy, and then we're going to jump to the end so I can show you that cul-de-sac. And the cool campground, just not quite epic, but a great place to get away for the weekend. Here we go.
And don't you wanna be tired of all these things, scared of living in the past?
Hey everybody, we made it to the end of a third trail, and it's going to be another cul-de-sac, but you can tell here the trail ends, and that is noted there that's a $1,000 fine if you drive your vehicle past here. So let me show you what you'd have to go over to get your vehicles on this forbidden road. So I'm going to walk back to the cul-de-sac, and you can see here they just made this little berm right here that you easily could get over with your car, but they tell you not to, so obviously that's a good deterrent, and that's what they'll do here in Georgia on these Forest Service roads. And then here you can see the cul-de-sac with the cars, and this is another good camp spot, so as you just keep an eye on it. And then over here is a fire pit that someone had used. It doesn't look anytime recent, but if you're looking for an area, you can come up here and camp. And right now everything's dead, just coming out of winter. So make sure you stay on the Forest Service roads and don't go anywhere that you're not supposed to. You don't get in trouble. And you can be able to camp out here and enjoy the North Georgia area just outside the town of Suches. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for, the trail to the left, the trail with the ruts, the off-camber activity, and the situation that caused the opener to happen. Sit back and here we go. So after you go left on the trail to do the harder trail, which will be Knights Creek, you'll shortly come up to this little creek crossing, and you do want to go that direction. Real quick, I'm going to show you what's here to the right is what appears to be a trail, but it's not actually a trail that you want to be on, and I'm going to show you here in a second. So as we approach, there is a good campsite right here, and then with the campsite, I would recommend doing the camping and then not driving past this campsite, and I'm going to show you why here in a second. Right here is a nice campsite. This is a nice campsite right here. So you can see, park your rigs, a little fire right there. And then if you were to keep going up the trail, you'd go over this area right here. It's not too bad, but a little slippery. And then up here, you can see where the ruts and trails go. So, and ultimately it's just a dead end. So don't do that. Stay to the left, go across that little creek. You can enjoy this campsite right there, but don't drive up the trail past where the campsite is. These smaller ruts are the foreshadowing for the things to come. As we travel the trail, I'll show you the highlight reel from the ins and outs, and in between the video shots of the trail becoming more difficult, there are definitely some easier parts that you can just drive along and enjoy the ride. And then we'll get to the part that caused the opener, and then we'll get to the cul-de-sac, and I'll show you the end of the trail, and then I'll about wrap up this video for Sea Creek and Knights Creek here in Suches, Georgia. So here's the highlight reel of the trail. Please enjoy. Okay, let me set up this next scene. What I'm about to do is deploy the drone, move it downrange, turn it around, and film the rigs coming up this rutted terrain. What I forget to do is tell the people that are driving with me where I put the drone. Please enjoy. We did this for your entertainment, and no drones or 4Runners were hurt in the filming of this episode, and it was all my fault for the clarity of the video and historical documentation.
Go to the right, go to the right, go to the right!
To say the least, I have learned my lesson, and I will cherish that memory for the rest of my life. I now know that I need to tell people where I place the drone to make sure that they will not run into it. But the idea of a drone is that it can fly higher in the sky and not be a worry to those that are driving the trail, though I put it low to the ground like a moron.
Hey everyone, that about wraps up Knights Creek. The other one was Sea Creek. And so I appreciate everyone for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.